Minister, I ask my question tonight in the context of the downgrading of the North West region, which covers 7 counties, including my own. So specifically, I'm asking you in relation to the status of the partnership agreement for cohesion funds, when it's expected that it will go to Cabinet, when will it be published, and what interchange have you had with the European Commission in relation to the serious downgrading and the recognition of how that northwest area is falling significantly behind? Thanks.
Minister.
Thank you very much, Deputy Connolly. The partnership agreement sets out Ireland's investment strategy for its cohesion policy funds. Ireland will receive €1.4 billion in cohesion policy funding for the 2021 to 27 period. When this funding is co-financed at a national level, it will mean cohesion policy programmes add a total value of almost €3.5 billion to the economy. Using these funds, implementation of the partnership agreement will strengthen economic, social and territorial cohesion and further reduce disparities between different regions, including in the northern and western region. In July, I secured Cabinet approval to formally submit a draft of Ireland's partnership agreement to the European Commission for their consideration. The Commission adopted the partnership agreement without change on the 16th of September, and I launched the agreement with the Commissioner for Regional Affairs, Elisa Ferreira, on the 20th of September in Dublin. The Commissioner was in Ireland in September as part of a 2-day visit to see a European Regional Development Fund and European Social Fund projects and engage with project participants. At the Cabinet in July, I undertook to return to Government with the final text of the partnership agreement. My officials are preparing this memorandum currently, and I will bring the partnership agreement to Government in the coming weeks, and I intend to publish the document on my department's website as soon as it has been approved by Government. Across the EU, the European Commission classifies regions within the Union as either being a less developed region, a region in transition, or a more developed region, based on their GDP per head of population relative to the EU average. As the Deputy has identified, the Commission recently reclassified the Northern and Western region from a more developed region to a region in transition, on the basis that its GDP is 75% to 100% of the EU 27 average. The other 2 regions in Ireland are classified as more developed, as their GDP is above 100% of the EU average. Under the cohesion policy rules, regions classified as regions in transition, like the Northern and Western, but from a higher co-financing rate, where the EU provides 60% of the funding for programmes as opposed to 40% in the more developed regions.
Thanks, Minister. Deputy.
I welcome the fact that you're telling me it'll be published, and I take it it'll be published in October. If you're talking about the next few weeks, you might just confirm that. Will the Commission report itself be reported? Because all we have are media reports of what the Commission has done. And it's very serious what the Commission has done in terms of recognition. The Commission repeated its previous concerns that regional disparities in Ireland were among the highest in the EU. It warned that if left unchecked, the trend of growing inequality between regions would have a damaging impact on economic and social well-being of all regions in Ireland. So let's just look. We're talking about Galway, Mayo, Sligo, Roscommon, Donegal, Leitrim and Monaghan. And we're talking about, can you clarify, has it been downgraded to a lagging region? You talk in your answer about a transition. Can you just clarify this terminology? And what it actually means is that there are significant challenges, including relatively lower productivity, educational attainment, a weaker skills base and business environment. Lagging regions are characterised by extremely low growth, which is divergent from the rest of the country. I'll stick to the time.
Minister.
Thank you very much, Deputy. So in relation to the European Commission publishing its assessment, I can't answer that, but I'll seek to find that out for you. So in essence, as I said in the reply earlier, the Commission classifies regions into 3 categories, depending on how they perform in relation to GDP output relative to the European average. And based on that, the Northern and Western region has been reclassified from a more developed region to a region in transition because of the band that it now falls into in relation to economic output relative to the EU average. I would just add a few points. I have designated, as you know, the Northern and Western Regional Assembly as the managing authority for the development of the ERDF programme for the Northern and Western region for the period out to 2027. It will benefit from a more favourable co-financing rate of 60%, and I also made a decision in consultation with the regional assemblies to transfer €20 million in ERDF resources from the two more developed regions to the Northern and Western region in recognition of the transition status of the region. My department engaged with the Commission on this matter and secured their agreement on this use of ERDF funds. And to answer your question about publication, I think it will be within weeks. I expect to have the memorandum for government very shortly.
Thanks, Minister. Deputy, final and supplementary.
Thanks, Minister. And I welcome what you're saying, and I welcome the extra money. However, this is a damning indictment of government policy that's committed to balanced regional development. And this hasn't come out of the blue. In 2020, a report by the European Parliament Committee on Regional Development, and it was categorised as a lagging region. In the Northern and Western Regional Assembly pre-budget submission for this budget, they set out low levels of R&D expenditure, problems with estimated gap in disposable income between North and West, and the national average was really significant, clearly 3 times higher than the corresponding gap in 2010. This is all set out, and I've only 16 seconds left. But you've seen that submission, and they're clearly pointing out that instead of going forward, the North West region has gone backwards. So it's really important that the Commission report is published, your report is published, and then we'll be able to see, is the money meeting what they're actually asking here, so we can have balanced regional development.
Thank you, Deputy. I don't accept your assertion that it's an indictment of government policy. It is the European Commission has reclassified the region because of its improved economic performance relative to the European Union average. The population is up in the Northern and Western region, employment is up in the Northern and Western region, and of course investment levels are up in the Northern and Western region. It is because of its improved performance that it has been reclassified, not by the Irish government but by the European Commission. So I don't suggest that you're trying to make a political football out of it. This is not a national decision. This is a decision by the European Commission based on the 3 classifications that they have for regions, and it's based on the improved performance of the North and Western region using that benchmark.